Welcome back, everyone. I don't think we're gonna go too long today. Just gonna try to beat Koga and head to Saffron. So, just to get out of the way, let's talk about the ban list and how disappointing it was, and just all of that shit. Because it's just been kind of a weird week for Yu-Gi-Oh. Okay, so first of all, ban list. I don't think it did enough. A lot of good stuff on there, and then just things where it leaves so much to be desired. Let me just make sure I'm looking at this right. Banned Lacrima, Appaloosa, Beatrice, and Hot Red. All those bans are perfect, but the issue is that there's no Flambird, there's no OSS. I don't think we would have seen Wanted or Diabella realistically hit just because of the Azamina, but that kind of leads into the next problem, is that none of those cards got hit. Poplar and Ash got hit, which helps in a way. You know, the deck is a little more susceptible to hand traps, but it's still too damn good. The semi-limits for the Dragon Roars don't really do shit for us. I mean, I don't know. It'll be cool to see what the what they can do with, or Tidal can do with the new Mermail support, but overall, just a disappointing list. Like those first few cards, just amazing. It sets the stage, and then Snake Eyes is just still too strong, and it kind of just, it feels like we're just gonna be stuck in Snake Eyes until the end of the year, and that's the most frustrating thing possible. Get it? Because it was frustration, and I said frustrating. Yeah, you get it. But no, it just it bums me out. There's been a lot of cool decks over the past, not just year, but the past like 2-3 years at this point. I feel like Shadow Ball would be a smart move here, but we're still at the point where Dragon Rage is pretty crazy. There's been a lot of cool decks over the past year, but they've just been overshadowed by tiers and decks that were, you know, abusing the Wanted engine, and then by Snake Eyes, and then by Snake Eyes, and then by Fiend Snake, and now by Snake Azamina, and it just bums me out. Like, Ice Barrier finally got support after years, and the support's good, but it doesn't matter because the Snakes. That's Lightsworn got support, and it just doesn't matter because the Snakes. Level 38. Maybe I'm not high enough for this. Oh well, it's a Rumple. What's it gonna do? But yeah, overall, the list just didn't really do enough, and I don't think anyone's gonna argue that. I think they should have hit IP. They should have hit Flamber. They should have hit OSS. They should have limited Wanted and Diabella, or Diabella Star. Just, I don't know. Just, it's really depressing after everything that happened to lead to this ban list. For those of you that, you know, don't give a shit about Yu-Gi-Oh and don't know what's going on, I guess we take this back about a decade. Konami used to give ban list dates for the ban list. You know, they say, okay, this list will be until March 1st. This list will be until September 1st. And you would just know, okay, on March 1st or September 1st, whatever, we're going to get a ban list, the format's going to change, and then they did this one really scummy list where they banned a bunch of good cards that weren't really top tier threats at that point. They were falling out of favor for the new stuff, but Konami banned them because they wanted people to specifically to buy the new stuff. It was a list that wasn't about the bounce of the game, but it was just about selling new product. And they came up with this list to try to justify, and the player base just tore it apart. And they slowly stopped giving us proper dates. Over time, it just became, this list will change no later than, and then it'd be like August 20 something. But then August 20 something would come, and no list would pop up. and it just be like, oh, it was no sooner then. So that means that it could be August 28th, or it could be literally any day after. Which started to bother people because, you know, we want to see the ban list. We need to know what we can test with. We need to know what we can play with. We need to know what we need to pick up. We need to know if we're going to be needing those cards before this weekend for an event, for locals, you know, just shit like that. Just helping us plan. But they started doing that, and it became a big issue with the fan base. And for the past couple of years now, Yu-Gi-Oh's been in tier 0 metas, which for those that don't know means that, you know, it's one deck on top, and it's not really feasible that other decks are performing well. And it's been like that for about 2 years now. And the past year essentially has belonged to the deck called Snake Eyes, and it's just been super dominant. And when the first ban list came around, it was a little too early for that deck to be hit, and people expected that. But as a result, the deck has been around since since February-ish now, and just overall been dominating the meta. I didn't mean to use repellent, thought that was a potion. Been dominating the meta, and people were really looking forward to this list to bring the deck down or just outright slaughter it. And the issue here is that, again, Konami wasn't giving us a date for this list. It just said this list will be up for a few months. So finally, last month, or I guess 2 months ago, back in July, they make the announcement saying this list will be updated in late August. So, you know, to everyone, late August means anything after the 15th to the 31st. So every day, starting the 15th, people were waiting for it. They were like, all right, the major tournament's over. The YCS is done. When can we expect this list, you know? And during the YCS, Konami posted a blog update that just said, you know, this is the last event under this list. Who knows what's in store for Snake Eyes and Fiendsmith and whatever the third, and Tenpai, saying like this will be their last hurrah. After this, you know, they could be killed off the ban list. And then we proceeded to have two more weekends of events under that ban list, and we didn't get any update until August 29th. And the way we got updated was via a description in a YouTube video for an unrelated format. And the player base had spent those weeks getting angrier and angrier at the lack of communication, to where I'm still not entirely sure how it started, but someone started posting an AI picture of a horse vomiting, and then every Konami social started getting flooded with horses in some way or other, whether it be that picture on Twitter, whether it be emojis on Facebook and Instagram. But it became a sign of protest against Konami's lack of communication. So for 2 weeks, the fan base was spamming vomiting horses, myself included. And it kind of divided the fan base, where you had one half who was like, I wouldn't say half, I would say like a very small percent was just crying, saying, oh, the horses are horrible, please stop posting the horses, Konami's doing its best. And it was like, no, they're not communicating with us. Like, you're paying for this game, and they're just shitting on you for it. And this list was not just a ban list. This was years of frustration. Konami is infamous for doing rarity bumps, where they'll take cards that are available in commons and rares and supers and bumping them to secrets to sell sets. You get you get 2 secrets per pack, or per box, per box, which are now like $110 or $120, I believe. And they just overinflate these boxes with shitty secrets to make it it's a whole thing. But it's been that. It's been just the lack of communication for some time now, like multiple years at this point. Multiple tier 0 formats, bad pricing. You know, at this, like, we're we're 8 years into the Switch's lifespan, I believe, and the top prize for winning these events is a Nintendo Switch. Like, not a Steam Deck, not a PS5, not a MacBook, an 8-year-old Nintendo Switch. And it's just kind of insane that's like the major prize sport. For example, I believe Pokemon gets I believe like $5,000. That could just be for, I think Worlds is like $10,000, and then regionals is like 1,000, and then I want to say Nats is like 5,000. I could be wrong on those numbers, but I'm pretty sure that Worlds is like 10,000. So we're looking at the pricing there. Lorcana gives away stuff that Lorcana players are paying serious money for, so that's how they get their big prizing. One Piece, I'm not sure what the pricing on One Piece is, but I know it's better than Yu-Gi-Oh. But that's another point of frustration. And then this ban list was just kind of the boiling point, where it's just been years of abuse from Konami, and this shitty format that just won't end. And one of the major issues with the game is just this one card combo issue, where one card will do way too much, and it's just not fun to be the second player anymore. There's a whole ton of shit, but it divided the fan base here with just people saying, the horse isn't doing anything, it's scaring them off, which is just complete insanity, because Konami has just shown a complete disrespect for the player base over the past decade at this point. But yeah, so then the balance comes and doesn't do enough, and it's just one of those things where people are jumping ship to other card games, people are quitting the card game itself, and it's just hard to be excited for the future of the game. Which is why I'm so excited about Alestrals. Daybreak just came out. I didn't realize I pulled a Corvishine reverse art in my unboxing the other day, and I didn't realize that was a reverse stellar. So I was like, oh, this is kind of lame. I'm kind of disappointed that I pulled this, because I would have preferred a full art. I looked online, that shit's like $115. $115. Can you believe that shit? And I said that shit was lame. I fucked up. I apologize. I'm sorry, Listrals. I was not familiar with your pricing. So I'm probably going to sell that, because while I do like having the rarity, I would much prefer to have $115 in my pocket. I also pulled the full art Apollo, which I'm probably going to sell off. And while I like the Apollo, I prefer the statue rares, and the statues are like $5 each. So I could have an extra $80 in my pocket, or I could, play a mixed match of statues plus the full art, which I don't think looks good. So I feel like the choice is pretty obvious there. But for example, let's compare buying a box of Yu-Gi-Oh cards to buying a box of Alestrals here. So they're both about the same price, roughly. With Yu-Gi-Oh, I think in the current set there's like 4 good secret rares out of like 8. I could be wrong. It could be like 3 good secret rares. And if I'm playing competitively, I'm gonna need like a playset of all 3 of those. So that's that's 9 cards. Each of them is gonna be about $70 minimum. And if you don't pull one of those 2 secrets, your box is pretty much worthless. And you just spent like $120 to pull garbage. And the commons really aren't playable outside of Closed Moon, which is a nice surprise, and Lacrima, which got hit, which is a good thing. I don't remember the fucking walls, bro. God damn it. In comparison, I bought a box of Daybreak. I pulled 2 cards that more than made up the price of the box, and on top of that, I think I pulled everything in the set that I wanted except for like Rhino 6 or whatever it's called, the ascended form of the Rhino. I can't remember to get to Koga. I was literally just there, bro. I was literally just there. What are we doing? Oh my god, it's been so long since I played this damn game. What the hell? Okay. But yeah, I pulled not just like I pulled one almost. Not did I? If I could talk, that'd be cool. Not only did I pull a playset of every card that I needed outside of like 2 cards, I pulled an extra playset to give to my friend. You know, that shit's unheard of in Yu-Gi-Oh. On top of that, like Illustrious has the Shattered Stars packs, where they just give away what are essentially staples for each type. I gotta get you out of there and switch into Mudbray. It's just the value there is so insane, and it just bums me out because I like Illustrious. It's a fun game. I much prefer Yu-Gi-Oh, and it just bums me out the state of Yu-Gi-Oh right now because it's not exciting. Honestly, I'm not even really have fun playing just because of how broken things are right now, and the banlist didn't do enough to fix it. Like, I don't know what to do. You know, it bums me out. I think we gotta heal. But yeah, that's the card game status. I downloaded the One Piece app and I just haven't had a chance to start. Hopefully this week, this last week, and this last 2 weeks was super hectic. But I think we're in a good spot now. Yeah, let's switch into Metagross. Pokemon announced a product the other week, and it's like $30 for 2 competitive decks, if I'm not mistaken. That shit's insane to me. Like $30 for 2 competitive decks that are gonna stay on top for a while. Yeah, I'm buying that. I'm getting into Pokemon TCG. Like, there's zero excuse to not get into the game with a product that good. Yeah, it bums me out because Yu-Gi-Oh to me is by far the funnest of the card games, but just Konami's handling of it makes it not fun to play. But yeah, so last week he Hyper Potion twice in a row. But yeah, last week I put out a video where I talked about what I would want to do with the story of Pokemon Gold, and I enjoyed making that. I'm gonna be real, I didn't realize how much editing work it was gonna be to do it the way I wanted to, and I kind of skipped a couple portions. I got kind of lazy on some of it. Why aren't you weak to Rock Tomb, bro? Did they change your type here, Pachirisu? There's a lot more editing than I thought, and it always bums me out when I do my takes and it's like, I don't know, it's like a 10+ minute video, usually like around 20, and then after editing it's like barely over 10 minutes, and I just feel like, man, did I flub my lines that many times over the course of that video? It just bumps me out a little bit. I'm gonna do one for, I'm kind of worried here. I don't know if I can. This Pachirisu is pretty evasive right now, bro. But I'm gonna do one for each gen. Some of them will be shorter, some of them will be longer. Like, I'm looking forward to doing, I think, Gen 8 the most, because I really truthfully hate Shield and Sword story to just a bizarre point, honestly. Yeah, here we go. I'm getting fucked by this shit. Like Gen 3, oh, you withdrew him, you fool. I was just not gonna be able to land a hit. Tapu Koku, you're still a steel type. Do you have 2 Tapu Kokus? Oh, because he has coughing and wheezing, right? Is that what the deal is? Shoot, that Mudsdale's poisoned. So we're just gonna keep you in here. This could be a problem. That was a critical. Alright, Metagross, you're Dynamaxing, bro. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Just to run over things real quick, like, I know what I wanted for Gen 3. It's not too much of a change. I don't mind the story of Gen 3, but it could be way better. Gen 4, honestly, I kind of don't think I might just not touch Gen 4 because I really like Gen 4. Gen 5, kind of split into, just because I think Black and White did a really good job. A couple things in Black and White 2 that I would change. Nothing crazy. Gen 6, I got a lot to add to Gen 6. Gen 7, yeah, I got a lot of problems with Gen 7. Gen 8, I got a shit. Probably the most issues I've ever had with a Pokemon game is Gen 8. Gen 9, I feel like did a lot of good with its story. I like the I forget, is it Arvin or Avrin? I like that story. I like the Professor story. Really, the only story I didn't like was Penny's. Just because I felt like Team Star was one of the lamest things that Pokemon's done. I hated the school setting in general. This is purely coming from an older player's perspective here. And, you know, I understand that Pokemon is primarily a children's game first, more than anything, you know? But it bums me out that we went from X and Y, which had what I think is still the best customization in the game, to just slowly losing that customization, but then being stuck with school uniforms and the same two body types, which are just kids for the entire game. And it's like, in Gen 4 you could pick your avatar. Gen 4 and 5 you could pick, like, alright, I want to be an Ace Trainer, and you would come in with the Ace Trainers fight. Gen 6 you could dress yourself up and there was a variety of clothes to pick from. You weren't just locked in anything. But then, like, Gen 7 you were locked into Hawaiian clothes or island clothes, and it was like, yeah, I don't want my dude wearing a tank top or shorts or these ugly ass hats, so what am I stuck with, you know? I gotta get Surf, so we gotta go to the Safari Zone. And then with Gen 8 we got, my issue with Gen 8 was just the bike riding costume. Like, it looks so ugly, and why would you make the bike outfit so ugly knowing that your player base is going to be on the bike 90% of the game? And then with Gen 9, the uniforms all sucked. I hated, every haircut sucked. I didn't like that the DLC forced me to use the DLC haircut for the longest time, and you had to, like, leave the area to go change your haircut. I just want the next game to be like, hey, you can pick an Ace Trainer sprite again. You can pick, let me be Q-Ball from Fire Red. Let me be that bald fucker. Let me be my perfect representation in game. I want customization back. I want more options back. Like, I understand that they're never gonna do, like, a creative trainer for the main game, but do a creative trainer for all the multiplayer stuff. Let me create a trainer that will be my avatar when I go online, or when I'm playing local multiplayer with a friend. You know, just let me do my own person that isn't a 10-year-old kid, because it looks lame to me, you know. I felt like the series was kind of growing older for a while. Like Red and Gold, you know, yeah, you know, he was like 10 or 11, but he was the most badass 10 or 11-year-old ever. Um, I felt like the Gen 5 pro tags looked a little older. Gen 6, you could argue they were like the same age as the Gen 5, and then we went back to being like a 10-year-old, and I was like, ah, I think we should have stayed with like the teenager. I feel like it just has a better design in terms of character. Like I can imagine my character saving the world. I can't imagine the 10-year-old kid from Gen 9 doing it. But I don't know. That's just me being nitpicky, I guess. But yeah, Gen 9. I didn't like the Penny story. I hated Team Star. They just we could have had Tapu Bulu. um, I feel like there's potential there, and then it just kind of gets forgotten by the DLC. And the DLC itself is one of my biggest disappointments in the entire franchise. I know I plan on making the video on it, but you know, whatever. More people will probably watch that than this, so it doesn't matter. But the first half of the DLC was really solid. I liked the story it was setting up, and then the second half came out, and it was like, all right, you set up a big revenge story, you set up Kieran to want to take me on and to be stronger, and he's jealous and he's clearly upset over everything that happened, and then it was just a big dance joke, and I was like, what are we doing? Like, what? Why did we set up the best rival we had in years for a dance joke? So yeah, I don't know. Just bummed me out there. I still haven't beat Legends Arceus. I got so tired of the gameplay loop in that game, and every time I go back, the controls feel weird to me, and I don't know what it is. Gameplay was, I just had so many issues with Legends Arceus. Like, what was the point of being able to move around mid battle and throw the Pokeball if it? Oh no! Whoa! Hold on! Kick out, bro! Kick out! I'm not supposed to catch you. That's a sin. Like, what was the point of being able to go behind a Pokemon mid battle if when you throw the ball, your character warps in front of the Pokemon? Like, there's so much there. It just felt like they were on the verge of something special, and then just fucked it up. And my biggest issue is the battle system. I don't understand why we had this garbage ass strong style or agile style. Just give me the regular fucking battle system, but put it in Legends Arceus, and I'll say, hey, that's a 10 out of 10 game. I'll ignore all the other flaws if you just give me that. I didn't like that everything was gatekept by catching Pokemon. It just didn't make sense to me that they cut back the wild battles, and they're like, alright, all your progress is going to be locked behind how many Pokemon you catch. And it felt so boring to me to have to repeat areas and look for Pokemon, and then be like, alright, well, I guess I got everything I could now. I'll be back later. And I come back later, and it's like, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm walking around. I'm bored. Give me a better story progression. I'm hoping that that AZ fixes that, because I don't know. And at some point I gotta go back and finish Legends Arceus, but it's hard to justify. All right, we got the teeth, baby. It's hard to justify, just because I can't find that game loop exciting. Yeah, for like the most unrelated stuff that I've probably ever talked about here, I watched Furiosa. That shit was good. I don't like. It was way better than I expected. it was just I can't get over the fucking the names of the sons, bro. Bro named his son Scrotus, like Scrotus. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't really have anything else to say. Like, I just really enjoyed that movie. It it feels like it's been forever since Fury Road came out. So I don't know. It just it was weird that Fury Road came out. What's it been like? That was pre-pandemic, so at least 5 years. But overall, a good movie. There was so much stuff I forgot about that universe. So to just see like, oh yeah, she loses an arm, and then to see how she lost an arm, I was like, that's pretty intense. I wasn't expecting that. But overall, I don't know, really enjoyed it. I've been meaning to watch Dune 2, but I have the book that I haven't read, and I feel like I should read the book first. But I'm still in the middle of reading Game of Thrones, and by middle I mean like I'm at the very beginning. So I don't know if that's happening anytime soon. And I wouldn't feel right watching the second movie before finishing the book. I felt weird watching the first movie before finishing the book. Alright, who do I give strength to? I guess that's for the stat, right? But yeah, that's just an issue I got. You know, I want to read the books first, and then I just get lazy with reading them because there's other stuff I could be doing. Like I've had all the time in the world this past week to keep reading, but we get rid of Dig. But I was focusing on editing that one video, the story expansion video, and it just kind of took over things for the week. Whenever I had free time, it was like, yeah, I'm gonna do that instead of reading. And all week I'm like, man, I barely read. I read like 2 more chapters. I didn't realize that book Caitlin was such a bitch. Like, goddamn, my boy John walked into the room to say goodbye to Bran, and she just treats him like shit. Tells him that she wished it was him. Like, goddamn, bro. I knew they didn't have the best relationship in the show, you know. But damn, book Caitlin is the worst person I've ever met. And then Tyrion just doing flips and shit. That's fantastic. I wish they had done that in the show. Okay, so we cleared out both to the side. I think I've captured everything I can, right? I don't know what's cut here. I feel like it has to be water pulse, you know, but I don't know. I feel like I can't risk losing Doll Eyes because of how good of a stat debuff it is. Quick attack feels like it's just smart to have a priority move. Yeah, it's gonna be water pulse. I mean, I don't think we get any double matches here, so I'm not really concerned about my Pokemon in that one. But yeah, I started reading Pokemon Adventures again. I forgot how much I love that art style. Just the world is so lively in Pokemon Special or Pokemon Adventures, whatever you want to call it. I started rereading the whole thing from the Red arc onwards. When I originally read it, I think I got all the way to the Emerald arc, and then there just weren't good translations, so I stopped reading. And now there are translations for I think everything up to at least Black and White, maybe even X and Y. But the plan is to go through those and get caught up. I just love the world that they built in Pokemon Adventures. Like just reading and seeing how much character Red had, I was like, man, I miss this world. And I'm still not entirely sure how we don't have an anime of Pokemon Adventure. we finally retired Ash, so it just feels like now would be the time. And I know there's that rumor that there's a Netflix movie that's gonna focus on Red, but just do an adventure anime. I guarantee you it'll be way better. I don't need to see, you know, another story on Red. We've had a couple, unless it's Adventures Red. We had the origin story. I didn't fight you last time, but yeah, let me just get Adventure Red and just tell that story. Animate those battles, flesh things out a little bit. Because I got to the first gym battle with Brock, and he just kind of beats Brock pretty quickly. And I just redo that story, just flesh out the gym battles. Like, he kind of gets his gym badge from Misty off screen because they do a bunch of training together, and he earns the badge through the training. But it's like, not just show that, you know, just show that, and the story's good. But yeah, just do an Adventures anime. I'm not sure why we haven't got one yet. Some spoiler talk. JJK. Probably one of the most disappointing chapters of the entire series for me. The only part of the chapter I liked was spoilers, like major spoilers, was Yuji trying to put Nobar into the box so that they could surprise Megumi. It just felt like that was a great moment. And then everything else, I didn't. Like, we have this speech between Sukuna and Megumi, and he's just like talking about his will to live, and Sukuna's just taunting him. That should have been an entire chapter. That should have been a whole ass chapter to itself, where Megumi's finding the will to live, and Sukuna's just taunting him, just telling him like, "Hey, you ain't shit. You should die. This is the end." And Megumi's like, "Nah, bro. I got too much going on. You know." Have him bring up his dead sister. Have him bring up his dead friends, and have Megumi just be like, "Nah, I gotta survive." A whole chapter of that character development. Instead, it was like a page, and then Sukuna just kind of dies. Like, after everything that we've been through in the past year with him murdering fodder characters left and right, and just fucking styling on everyone and raw dogging the entire roster, he just kind of dies. And then we cut to the Hikari fight, and it's just over. And you know how fucking sad that made me? Hikari is the Rock Lee of JJK. Because he had one good fight that everyone glazed him over, and then he was just gone. He just didn't do shit for the rest of the manga. And it bummed me out, because all you had to do was have him trap Sukuna in repeated gambling for a bit while everyone else figured shit out. It would have been gold. Instead, he off screens a fight for like 100 chapters or some shit, and then we see him and he's just like, "Yeah, I won, gambling, baby." It just, I don't know, man. And then the part that bummed me out the most was the Gojo letters. Or for years now, it's been like, all right, well, how's Megumi gonna react to knowing Gojo killed his dad? How's he gonna react to knowing that Toji was his dad, that he fought his dad in Shibuya? And then it's just, hey, I killed your dad, lol. And that was it. There's so much that could have been elaborated on or explained better and just developed more, and we got none of that shit. And I don't get it. I don't fucking get it, bro. Oh, did I not get the water for you? Oh, do I have to go to that? There's a specific NPC now, right? But yeah, it bummed me out. And now there's what, 3 chapters left? And we're gonna get a rescue Yuta arc? I don't give a shit about Yuta. Let him die at this point. Stop wasting chapters on Yuta right now. Let me focus on the main 3. And the like, I need at least one chapter that's dedicated to the after effects of the Shibuya incident and the cooling games on Japan and the world. Like, do you understand how insane it was that in a single night Shibuya got siphoned off from the world and just put through hell? And then immediately afterwards, Japan was thrown into chaos and just hundreds, if millions of people died instantly. The U.S. government's military was attacked by demons. And none of that shit is being elaborated on. Like, I just want one chapter where we see the ramifications of all this shit. It's insane to me that we aren't getting something like that. Daima premieres in a couple of weeks for Dragon Ball, so that'll be cool. Not sure how I feel about Kid Goku or Kid Everyone in this case, but I'm just happy to get more Dragon Ball, and it was Akira Toriyama, so gotta pay respects and watch it. I'm not. Is it just like a 10-minute thing though, like just 10-minute episodes, or is it full episodes? Okay, I think next time we're gonna take on both gyms. Is there anything else I can do here? Yeah, just surfing down here. But I'll worry about that one when I go to Cinnabar. Yeah, alright. Let's go ahead and call it a night. But yeah, it's been a week. Disappointed in JJK. Disappointed in the ban list. I didn't even talk Bastion Berlin. Alright, let's keep grinding while we talk about Bastion Berlin and NXT. And some AW. I'll start with the AW. I don't remember much about Dynamite, but I hate that we're wasting Bryan's first feud as world champion on Jungle Boy. I hate Jungle Boy. Zero charisma, zero presence. I'm tired of this fucker. I'm tired of him. Bastion Berlin was cool. I feel like none of the matches were too crazy. Like, there wasn't anything where I was like, yeah, that was match of the year. But overall, a solid show. Orton and Gunther picked up towards the end. Started kind of slow. What level is this thing at? Only 9 levels? Nah, you can stay in the daycare, bro. But I don't know, it just felt like kind of like a filler show. I like the 5-match format on pay-per-views, but sometimes it feels like you could have thrown another match on here. Like, we could have had Ilya on the show. We could have had Jay on the show. When was the last time Jay was on pay-per-view? Should have had Ludwig on the show. I mean, I know he was on SmackDown doing an open challenge, but just move the open challenge from SmackDown to there. Yeah, overall, good show. Nothing crazy. NXT was really solid. Way better than I expected. I honestly wasn't expecting much out of Joe Henry versus Ethan Page, and that match really surprised me. Oba Femi never disappoints. The tag team titles, I didn't understand. I'm not sure why they took the titles off of Chase U so fast, other than for the Rich heel turn. Roxanne putting on the best NXT title run of all time, and excited to see what they do with Julia. Raw was tonight. It's time for Sammy Gunther 2, so looking forward to that. But honestly, I'm tired. I don't want to cover Slivko or the gyms tonight, so we're going to call it here. Nice and easy, beat Koga. Got Surf, got Strength. And now we're ready to take on Team Rocket again. So, until next time, peace.